Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another car review episode. And in today's video, we have a very interesting car. And the car that we'll be looking into today is the car which is known for one purpose. Or basically, so many people, I'm sure they do understand this car or get to know this car as Uber. But what we'll be looking into is a car which gets to serve this purpose. The car that we'll be talking about is none other. It's called the Suzuki Alto. And there's a reason why this car is usually are used for this purpose, and that's what I want us to get to look into in this discussion. So stick around, and of course, if it's your first time coming across my videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, which is just below here, as well as turn on the notification bell so that whenever I get to bring new episodes regarding cars, you can always be notified. So I'll be taking you through this discussion. My name is Willie, and of course, guys, I will also be looking into other specs which makes this car convenient, especially in our Kenyan roads. And of course, all that we'll be looking into after the short break. Well, something to note about the Suzuki Alto is the fact that this is a very small Kadudu car. It's basically a compact hatchback car, which is convenient, especially when you're having those seat rides. So the reason why this car is usually considered all its best are used when it comes to Uber, it's because of its fuel consumption. So another factor which makes it also convenient for this purpose is the fact that most of these they do come with automatic transmission system. It's a five-seater, meaning it can carry five passengers, as well as it also have a reasonable space when it comes to boot. And all those we'll be looking into. But first of all, let's look at the specs or the motor that gets to power this car. So right away, let's get into that. Well, when it comes to the engine of the Suzuki Alto, it's important that we get to understand this is a car which has a very small engine. We are talking about the series of the K6A. That's the most common engine variants which you get to see in most of the Suzuki Altos. And the reason for that is because with just 658cc, this car can get to cruise anywhere. So, especially as I said earlier, this is a car which is usually mostly is used mostly when it comes to city drive. I remember we are not talking about whereby this car needs to go to rough terrains, and that's one of the advantages that this car has, unlike any other cars like the Toyota Vitz. We're also talking about things like the Demio, Nissan Note, all that. So with the 658 this engine comes also with three cylinders. That's explaining the reason why the engine is very small. Also, another thing is to notice is that this engine do come with double overhead camshaft. And remember, we have talked about the importance of having the double overhead camshaft in other episode prior. So just to highlight the reason why most of the cars which comes with the double overhead camshaft, they tend to have smooth running, and of course in terms of the lifespan they tend to have longer lifespan because remember we're talking about the double overhead. They do help with the air intake as well as the pushing out the exhaust gases. With this small engine, this car gets to give a maximum power of around 54 PS, which is enough to push this car to its top speed. Remember, it's just a small hatchback, meaning it's not a very heavy car or a heavy duty machine. So for that case, with that engine, it gets the job done conveniently without any difficulty. So also another thing which also assists greatly when it comes to fuel consumption is the fact that this car usually gets to use the fueling system of this car is electronic fuel system, meaning what we mean by that is that its fuel consumption or how the fuel is usually injected into the engine is usually controlled by the sensors. Remember, we're talking about the ECU. It has the electronic control unit which gets to control the exact amount which is being pushed into the engine. So that's also another advantage that this car has, and of course, for that case, it explains the reason why we have low fuel consumption when it comes to Suzuki Alto. So the latest models of the Suzuki Alto, of course, we have seen changes in terms of the appearance, external appearance. Also, with the engine, the latest a series of the Suzuki Alto which has been released. We have some which even have an engine capacity of 1000 cc. Basically, it's a 990 cc. So those are some of the upgrades that we have seen with the latest generation of this car. So remember, this car is usually a two-wheel drive. It usually gets to push with the front wheels. So that's also something important to note. But basically, this car is not anything complicated. It's just a basic car which gives the driver the basic comfort, and of course the gets to get the job done. So basically, those are some of the specs that you need to know about this car in comes to the engine. Now let's just go ahead. We get to look into the external features of this car. Well, speaking of the external features of this car, it's just a basic car. It doesn't have those extreme aspects that we get to see in those luxury cars. But one thing that you'll notice with the Suzuki Alto is the shape of the headlights. They're very, very iconic, and of course, they're very, very unique. You can't fail to miss. From a distance, you can see it has those two big, that is headlights, which have the halogen reflectors. With these big headlights, of course, the main purpose is to give the driver visibility, especially when cruising at night. And for that case, with such big headlights, the car can really, really get to give a good light. And of course, the big headlights, just like what you get to see with cars like the Person as well as the Nissan Note, you can see the turning signal. They are also in that headlight. So that's something we'll also be seeing. We also get to see with the Suzuki Alto, the signal lighting, they are in the headlights. So just at the tip, at the top tip of the headlights, that's where we have the signal. Looking at the front part, you see that it also comes with this grill. Of course, it's also fully attached to the bumper, to the nose cut. So the purpose for that, of course, grill is to give proper airflow into the engine for cooling purposes. This car, in some specs, you may see they do come with the fog light, but it's not a standard feature that you'll be seeing in every Suzuki Alto out there. So some they do come, some don't. Some they don't have those fog lights. But for those ones which have the fog light, like this one, you can see the fog light. They are also just to assist whenever you go to those areas where the climate is a bit difficult in terms of visibility. Those fog lights, they really get to help when it comes to that. So with the Suzuki Alto, in any trim out there, you'll be seeing this S logo. That's for brand identity, meaning Suzuki. So that's an iconic logo that you'll be seeing in every Suzuki car out there. So take note on that. So you can see this car is basically a very, very small car, but it's an amazing car because it gets to take you wherever you want to go. And for that case, guys, looking from the side, this car do come with 13-inch wheels. They are appropriate for its size, as well as it also gives the car good ground clearance, meaning you would be struggling when it comes to those high bump. But regardless of the size of this car, with the 13 inches wheel, that's some good ground clearance. Looking at the back, we do have these big head tail lights, which also visible when it comes to when you're cruising and there's a car behind you. Somebody can clearly get to see you from a distance, as well as when you get to press those brake pedal, you can get to clearly signal or get to notify the driver behind you you are slowing down. So you can see they do come also with the rear side rear wiper, which is also appropriate when it comes to cleaning the rear window, especially when you can't get clear visibility using your rear mirror. That rear wiper gets that job done properly. So they also have the logo, the iconic Suzuki logo at the back. Also for this one, you can see it's an Alto. Remember, it's a different. We have different trims, different series for the Altos, and for that case, you can get to notice which one you're dealing with specifically with this SZ4. So basically, those are some of the things that you need to will be noticing with the Suzuki Alto when it comes to the external features. So this one, it might some trims do come with the side blinkers, but some don't. Also, another thing is also to realize that that is not a standard manufacturer aspect. So you might be seeing with some, but some might not. So basically, those are some of the basic features you get to see with the Suzuki Alto. Now let's proceed to get to look into the internal features. Well, looking at the interior of these Alto, remember most of the time they're used for Uber services, so they get to give either the driver or the passenger on board some comfort, and some of the features that you get to see to facilitate that. Of course, it's good. We have the amazing or the nice seats which are either fabric or leather upholstery. So that's one of the basic features that you'll be noticing once you are inside the Suzuki Alto. Also, another feature you'll be realizing is that for the case of the passengers sitting in the rear seats, there is enough legroom, as well as inside the cabin, we have enough headroom, which is also important to make sure that you're comfortable when you're in there. Also, you'll be noticing with the Alto, just like cars like Demio, we're talking about cars like Beat, they have the ability to slide or to lay to slide the rear seats. And of course, you get to have more space for luggages, and of course, that's also a special feature to realize with the Suzuki Alto. Looking at the dashboard, guys, we also you can see with the center console, we don't have those complicated system attached here. We have the climate control system over here, manual climate control. We have a radio system here. This is not a digital one, but it gets the job done. So also another thing you can say for this one, it's a manual. You can see looking at that lever over there, this one is a manual Suzuki Alto. We're also looking at the dashboard in terms of the driver's dashboard. You can see we don't have those complicated meters over here. So we have the basic speedometer. This one looks to be analog. So that's so those are just some of the features that we'll be realizing with the Suzuki Alto, without forgetting things like the windows. They are also electric powered. The side mirrors could also fold by just pressing some button. So basically, with the Suzuki Alto, it's just a basic car for a normal Kenyan over there. So if you're looking to get a car which can get to help you with your normal city errands, this is the car to go for, because in terms of the fuel consumption, this tops the list. So what I would say, guys, the Suzuki Alto is not a bad one. It's just a basic car, and of course, it's a car that can really get to help you to move to the next level. So basically, those are that's all I had with the Suzuki Alto. Talk to me if you have owned one. Some of the challenges that we'll be seeing with the Suzuki Alto, I know one of which is struggles when it comes to going to areas which are hilly, but generally, Suzuki Alto is not a bad one. Talk to me in the comment section. And of course, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do so. Turn on the notification bell. And of course, I look forward to seeing you in our next one. Peace, guys.